Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today we shall talk about the concluding part of the life story of Mr. Bala Sahib Thackeray, also known as Bal Thackeray. Because it is a concluding part, I don't want to talk about the preliminaries in my usual videos. Now, we all know that Bal Thackeray thought that his intellectual ideas will attract the sophisticated, decent, educated, and refined gentry of Maharashtra, but to his dismay, these people alienated themselves from him more and more, further and further, as a result of which all the riffraff in Maharashtra, of whom this man hardly knew about their very existence, swarmed him in a crowd which was unending and infinite. There is a proverb: big good things come in small packages and bullshit comes in bulk. The sophisticated gentry of Maharashtra was in a minority and it shied away from him, whereas the goons and the hitmen were in a bulk and they literally swamped Bal Thackeray. This man, who was already arrogant, quarrelsome, rough, vitriolic, and sarcastic, became more and more autocratic and dictatorial, and he started passing arbitrary decisions or rules which resulted in labor strikes, political demonstrations, and violent gang wars. They resulted in sanguine runaway battles between gangs and violence and murders that seemed to be never ending. Bal Thackeray, who wanted to be something of a emancipator, turned out to be a tyrant and an autocrat. And then nature struck. There is another proverb: Nemesis strikes even the most wary transgressor. Bal Thackeray could never know when Nemesis will strike him. Nature presented its bill to this man, whose cup of ore was slowly filling. This happened somewhere in the mid 90s. Bal Thackeray's wife was a very noble and nice person known as Meera Tai. This Meena Tai suffered from asthma and a lung condition. One day, Bal Thackeray took her to a hill station nearby. On the return home through the hills, this poor lady got an asthmatic attack. Bal Thackeray was stunned and distraught. He did not know what to do. The ailment grew slowly bigger and bigger, and this woman became almost breathless and was slipping into a coma. Bal Thackeray rushed hither and thither, and ultimately he went to a hospital in a place called Thane or Kalyan. There he tried to admit his wife desperately into the hospital, demanding that she should be treated as early as possible. The doctors told him quietly, "Sir, there is a bandh or a strike in Kalyan, and hence there is no electricity or light in the hospital." Bal Thackeray flew into a mad rage. "Who asked you to do a bandh today?" he asked the doctor. "Who asked you to declare a strike today when my wife is ill?" The doctor replied quietly, "Sir, the strike was organized as per your own orders." In other words, Bal Thackeray was the main cause for his wife's sorry plight. However, though he was very angry and frustrated, Bal Thackeray rushed to Mumbai to admit her in some bigger hospital. But by the time he went to that hospital, she was no more. Bal Thackeray tore his hair in frustration, but more troubles were in store for him. Exactly 6 months or 1 year later, his own son, Binda Thackeray, died at the very spot where his mother had suffered such an asthmatic attack in the hills of Western Ghats. This guy, instead of suffering from asthma, was killed by a road accident. Bal Thackeray was beyond himself with grief. "Today I declare that there is no God," he wailed and lamented. As others, his sycophants, tried to soothe him, the sophisticated gentry of Bombay heaved a sigh of relief. It is today that we have started believing that there still is God. In other words, what Bal Thackeray had stopped believing, the gentry and the nice crowd of Maharashtra had started believing. They had always prayed that God should intervene and put an end to this man's dictatorial rule. But to no avail. This man ruled Maharashtra and continued to rule even after the death of his wife and his son, but in a more detached and frustrated way. God did not help the nice people at that time, but on that day in the mid 90s, in two instances, the same God helped those people to wreak vengeance on this man. They did not wreak vengeance, it was Nemesis which did so. This shows that God gives you what you deserve and not what you covet. This is the actual crux of all teachings in this particular proverb, in this particular incident. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular matter. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of my other videos. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.